the NFL on CBS. We are in Miami for this AFC East battle between the 1-1 Miami Dolphins and the 1-1 Buffalo Bills. Feels like a sauna inside Sun Life Stadium. 87 degrees, feels more like 96 when you factor in the humidity. Miami wins the toss and elect to receive. Our game being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Spiro Dita, Solomon Wilcox, rest of our CBS crew from Miami. And this game, Solomon, with all kinds of importance for both teams for obvious reasons.
Yeah, there's no doubt both teams coming off losses from 1 week ago and would love to look much better, particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
Dolphins a loser in Jacksonville last Sunday. Buffalo beaten at home by New England. Home opener for the Dolphins. They are 3-0 in home openers here in the 3+ years since Joe Philbin took over. And a kick from Jordan Gay sails through the back of the end zone. And here comes Ryan Tannehill, who has played well. One of the few bright spots offensively for this team over the first 2 weeks. And you see that long streak without an interception. Second longest streak in franchise history. 6 passes away from the great Dan Marino.
He has continued to improve every year he's been in the league. He's going to be tested today by this Bills defense. Look for him to kind of mimic what Tom Brady did 1 week ago, looking to get the ball out quickly and avoid being sacked.
This Miami offense averaging just 15 points over the first 2 weeks. Lamar Miller, who is a question mark today with an ankle injury, as the Dolphins keep it on the ground. Starters up front. This has been a major area of concern for the Dolphins. This offensive line. Jason Fox, just his 6th career start. Brandon Albert, their free agent acquisition from Kansas City, out today with a hamstring. And Jarvis Landry, who continues to excel. He has been a revelation for this Miami team over the first season plus of his NFL career. 2nd and 5. They line up just inside the 25. This is Tannehill. The pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Intended for Landry. It was Jerry Hughes who got his big mitt on it. And that'll set up a 3rd and 5. This Buffalo defense, vaunted, highly talked about, but last week a struggle against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Mario Williams anchors that front. Preston Brown, their leading tackler through the first 2 weeks, also led them in that category last season. And Bakari Rambo makes his first start as a Bill. Aaron Williams, that scary neck injury last Sunday, still not ready to make his return. You see what the Dolphins have done on 3rd down this season. Damian Williams comes in and is split out here on 3rd and 5. This is Tannehill. His pass over the middle, incomplete, through the hands of Greg Jennings. And a 3 and out for the Dolphins as Buffalo's defense saw him able to get off the field.
Spiro, what did the Dolphins tell us when we met with them? We have to get off to a fast start. Something they have not done in each of their first 2 ball games coming into today. Joe Philbin seeing his offense go 3 and out. Now the defense is going to have to come on and play strong at the beginning of this game.
Matt Darr, their rookie punter out of Tennessee, getting some early work. Marcus Thigpen back deep to return. A former Miami Dolphin was their lead punt returner here in 2012 and 2013, but he is buried just out across the 20-yard line. 59-yard punt from Darr as Tyrod Taylor set to make his 3rd career start, and Solomon his first start on the road in the NFL.
Yeah, you know, he talked about last week's game. They all agreed it was a disappointment, but they remained unified. They understand they can play better, and obviously here on the road today, he's going to have to be able to come into a hostile environment, be able to handle the crowd noise, and remain poised. I thought he made strides at the end of that game 1 week ago against the Patriots.
You saw the 3 picks last Sunday against New England. He was sacked 8 times in that 8-point loss. Play action from Taylor on 1st and 10. Rolling out, throws across his body to the one-time Dolphin, Charles Clay. A good start for this Buffalo offense. It'll be 2nd down and short coming up. How about the offensive starters in front of Taylor? Richie Incognito makes his first appearance in Miami since that controversial suspension in 2013. Backs and receivers, Charles Clay, as I just mentioned, first 4 years of his career in Miami, and boy, they'd like to have him back, wouldn't they? Some of the injuries that they've had at the tight end position. 2nd and a short 1. They line up just inside the 32. Taylor again, play action, fakes the give to McCoy, surveys the defense, throwing on the run, he's got Clay inside Dolphins territory, forced out of bounds. It's a first down catch and run, 24 yards. Taylor to Clay for his second quick catch.
Now this is what the mobility of Tyrod Taylor gives you. Look, Clay to the left. Watch him come across the field as they roll out Tyrod Taylor. He finds the open tight end, Charles Clay, and Richie Incognito. Look at him, locked in, mixing it up a little bit earlier in this game against his former teammates.
No flag, no harm, right? Percy Harvin, the man in motion. First and 10 from the Miami 44. Taylor, quick drop, quick strike. This is Harvin. Little juke step, so dangerous in the open field. As Harvin able to dance his way close to the 40-yard line, he picks up 3 yards. Defensive starters from Miami, a team that came in with such high expectations, yet to make an impact through the first 2 weeks. And Ndamukong Suh has had the brunt of the criticism fall on his shoulders. Kelvin Shepard, the one-time Buffalo Bill, faces his old team, and Brent Grimes, the headliner in that Dolphins secondary that has struggled so far this season. 2nd and 7. Another fake give to McCoy. Quick strike. This is Robert Woods inside the 30. And finally forced out of bounds by the safety, Rashad Jones. And how about this start for Buffalo's offense? 16 yards and another first down.
Well, this offense has been clicking under their coordinator, Greg Roman. Getting the playmakers out in space, finding Woods where he can make some moves. Now, we've already said the offense for the Miami Dolphins have gotten off to a slow start. Now the defense can't get off the field. For the third consecutive week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense for the Dolphins, here getting off to a slow beginning of the game.
Taylor pitching a perfect game till this point, 4 for 4 for 52 yards. Play action on 1st and 10. Taylor's got all day to throw. It's Clay, already his 3rd catch. Clay still going, dances inside the 5, and the former Dolphin coming home into the end zone from 25 yards out. Masterful start for Buffalo.
Well, Clay is just a guy, look, he's going to be coming from right here, and then he'll come across the field. And watch him just come across, get open against the linebacker. Now, poor tackling on the back end of the defense. Makes 1 miss, 2, and then a 3rd inside the 5-yard line. 3 catches on this drive by Charles Clay.
Dan Carpenter, another one-time Dolphin, on for the point after, and it is good as the Buffalo Bills throwing down the gauntlet, march 77 yards in 5 plays, and they do it in just over 2 minutes. And what a performance on that drive by Taylor and also Charles Clay, Solomon. 3 catches, 58 yards for Clay, and the 25-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and Taylor goes 5 for 5 on the drive, using the former tight end of the Miami Dolphins, Charles Clay. Rex Ryan understands. He knows when guys are motivated. Look at Clay coming here, and then just the mobility. Taylor moves very well. We already said he was a throw-first quarterback, not looking to run even when he has opportunities. But how about the niftiness of the big tight end, Charles Clay, a former fullback, also with the Miami Dolphins, still able to make 3 defenders miss to get that one into the end zone.
And this Dolphins defense that has been under fire, all the criticism that they've taken for some very subpar play, and it goes back, Solomon, to the last 4 games of last season when they yielded an average of 35 points per game. One of the big reasons why they missed the playoffs yet again. And this was not the start that they were looking for here today.
Not the start when we talked to Joe Philbin and said, hey, we've got to begin to start games fast. They got off to a tremendously slow start last week in Jacksonville.
We welcome you to Sun Life Stadium in Miami. Spiro Diaz, Solomon Wilcots, rest of our CBS crew, Tyrod Taylor and Charles Clay. That man, the one-time Miami Dolphin, marching this Buffalo offense down the field. 5 plays, 77 yards, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. As we welcome those of you that have been watching action from around the league in week number 3, 7-0 Buffalo, as they play their second divisional game in as many weeks. Another booming kick by Gay through the back of the end zone as Charles Clay on the 25-yard catch and run to get Buffalo on the board early. Well, it's one thing to talk about the slow starts. It's another thing to try to fix the problem. Something certainly Joe Philbin and his staff have been wary of, but you saw that a -17 so far this season, 5th worst mark in the NFL. Second drive for Miami. Went 3 and out on the first. This is Tannehill from the gun on 1st and 10. That pass is incomplete. Second drop by Jennings. Salmon, what are we looking for going into this one?
Well, for Buffalo, I think quarterback Tyrod Taylor must improve his decision-making and avoid turnovers here on the road. Already off to a good start in today's game. The Dolphins' defensive line must come out of hibernation and become a disruptive force. Already off to a slow start here defensively, allowing a 5-play, 77-yard drive to begin this game for the Buffalo Bills. Here in their home opener, they better get it going.
Tannehill last Sunday in the loss, 359 yards, 3rd highest output of his career. All kinds of penalty markers come in. Miller on take. As Miller playing today on that gimpy ankle. Our referee today is Jerome Boger.
Outside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Buffalo, 25 penalties over the first 2 weeks, most in the NFL. They had 14 of them last Sunday. Solomon, 6 of them, by the way, were on special teams. Amazing.
Yeah, both these teams in their losses 1 week ago had a combined total of 27 penalties. It's hard to win when you have so many problems on both sides of the ball.
With the late handoff on 2nd and 5. It's Lamar Miller crosses the 30, picks up 5, and a much-needed first down for Miami. I told you the Dolphins falling short in Jacksonville last Sunday, 23-20. A team that was a trendy pick in the AFC to make some noise this season and finally get into the playoffs for the first time under Philbin. Tannehill spinning all over the place, pressured by Jerry Hughes, and how this offensive line, Solomon, deals with the pressure of this Buffalo defense, one of the huge storylines in this game.
There's no doubt about it, and Jason Fox has got to do a better job, and then watch him come, just Hughes beating Fox underneath immediately, nearly getting the sack on Ryan Tannehill, if it's not for the athleticism and movement of Tannehill to spin out and get rid of the football, would have suffered his first sack of the game.
Tannehill 0 for 4 so far in his first drive plus of this game. 2nd and 10. Tannehill slings it near side. Finally a completion. This is Landry making guys miss. Penalty marker thrown. Landry finally forced out of bounds just short of the 40. It's a 9-yard pass play. It's coming back.
Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Right now, Jerry Hughes is being very disruptive. He's just chewing up this offensive line. Watch him come in and beat Dallas Thomas right there. Just whips him from the time they snap the ball to get pressure in the face of Tannehill. If this offensive line cannot protect Tannehill, it could be a long day for this Dolphins offense.
Thomas, their guard, the 3rd-year man out of Tennessee, a former 3rd-round pick here, under scrutiny this week for some of his struggles over the first 2 weeks. Tannehill on 2nd and 20, throwing far side, dangerous pass. Nice coverage by Stephon Gilmore. Able to step into the passing lane, intended for Damian Williams. Ronald Darby, I beg your pardon, on the coverage.
Yes, excellent coverage. And whenever he's going to have to defend a running back in space, I think Darby's going to win that matchup. In my mind, you've got to look for a better matchup if you're Ryan Tannehill. You see a corner covering a bigger running back like Damian Williams, I don't think that's the matchup advantage you want. Got to go somewhere else with the football. Darby
had that pick in their Week 1 win against Indy. Still manning that spot. That is usually taken by Leotis McKelvin. Little sidearm delivery from Tannehill. Rashard Matthews, who's had an excellent start to the season, crosses the 30, still well short of that first down. He picks up 14 yards, but once again, Miami will be forced to punt.
And after 5 consecutive incompletions for Ryan Tannehill, he finally gets one off. Even with pressure in his face, he had to change his delivery just to be able to get that ball out to Matthews.
Well, Rex Ryan and this defense had their feelings hurt last week. Gave up 466 passing yards to Tom Brady in New England. Most in franchise history and the most ever by a Rex Ryan coached defense. Second punt from Matt Darr, and it is a beauty out of bounds inside the 20. And that's where Tyrod Taylor and Buffalo will take it when we come back. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
7-0 Buffalo as we welcome you back to Sun Life Stadium. 9:43 to play first quarter. If you've just joined us, Tyrod Taylor taking Buffalo 77 yards down the field on their first drive. This is LaShawn McCoy on his first take on 1st and 10. McCoy bounces to the outside and very close to a Buffalo first down. The ex-Dolphin Charles Clay doing some damage early.
Yeah, Greg Roman wanted to clearly feature him in the early going of this game and getting him out to the second level. 3 catches on the very first possession for the Buffalo Bills. He's able to break tackles and get it into the end zone, showing his versatility in space. An excellent blocker as an inline tight end, but also good in terms of catching the ball at the second level.
Dolphins desperately wanted to retain him, but give Doug Whaley, the Buffalo GM, credit, getting creative and snagging a huge piece in the offseason. Penalty markers thrown as Taylor runs for first down yardage. It's a 5-yard pickup. We'll see if this one is coming back. Olivier Vernon was there for the tackle.
Outside defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, resulting in a first down.
That's Earl Mitchell, who actually appeared on the injury report this week with a back. And that second critical penalty, Solomon, against Miami.
Well, both these teams have been hit hard with penalty flags and really cost, I think, the Dolphins the game 1 week ago in Jacksonville.
Carlos Williams, the number 3 running back, the rookie out of Florida State, on the field flanking Taylor. 1st and 10. Taylor's going to take a shot. He's got his man. It's Sammy Watkins deep inside Miami territory. And Taylor carving up this Miami secondary.
Well, it's basically just a go route right here. And watch the throw from Tyrod Taylor. He's working against Bryce McCain, who had been beaten 1 week ago. Man-to-man coverage, single high, and it's just a great throw, allowing Watkins to run under it. McCain's got to do a better job of winning at the line of scrimmage and staying on top in man-to-man coverage.
39-yard pass play. So Watkins, the second-year target out of Clemson. Watkins last Sunday, 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown after he did not have a catch in week 1. That first down pass high through the hands of LaShawn McCoy, and it will fall incomplete. A lot of good from Taylor, Solomon, in week 1 against the Colts. Last Sunday, a different story. What have we learned about Taylor through a couple of weeks?
I think we found that even though, he's a young quarterback, and I thought the Patriots got to him a little bit, he was able to hang in there as the game sort of went on. You got into the fourth quarter. Greg Roman continued to show trust in him, and he led that team right down the field. They scored 19 points in the fourth quarter, so the fact that he kept fighting back, found a way to score points, tells you that this kid's got a lot to him.
First road start for Taylor. This is 2nd and 10. Taylor going end zone. One-on-one coverage. Watkins snags it out of the air, but runs out of real estate. Tight coverage by Bryce McCain. It'll be 3rd and 10 coming up.
I like the fact that Tyrod Taylor's given Sammy Watkins an opportunity to make some plays in this game. Those 50-50 balls we talked about just ran out of real estate, but Watkins is going up for it. They're clearly going after Bryce McCain after watching him get beat by Allen Robinson 1 week ago in Jacksonville. And the only way to stop that as a defensive back in the National Football League, you've got to pick one of them off before teams will stop coming after you.
3rd down conversion ranks have been a sore point for this offense, as you see each of the last 3 years. 3rd and 10. And Ndamukong Suh lining up over the center. This is Clay, his 4th catch. Inside the 20, run out of bounds inside the 15. There was a marker on the field. If it stands, it's a 12-yard play.
Defense, number 91. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first down.
And this Dolphins defense, as Cameron Wake is whistled for the penalty, continues to play Solomon on its heels.
What happens when you struggle like Joe Philbin's defense has been, at least the first 2 weeks, you start to press a little bit. And you start to want to go after people. And, Charles Clay is making a lot of plays. 4 catches so far, 70 yards in this game. And the Dolphins defense is struggling to make a play.
McCoy on 1st and 10 inside the 10-yard line, brought down after a good pickup of 5 yards. McCoy bouncing back after a struggle for him in the opener, still dealing with that hamstring injury that he sustained in mid-August. Last Sunday, 89 yards on 15 rushes. Solomon averaged nearly 6 yards per take in the loss.
Well, he's starting to share some time now with the rookie running back Carlos Williams. And now as the Bills are down here inside the red zone, they'll pound the running game at the fullback. Look for some trickeration using the tight ends to get to the second level into the end zone.
Dixon offset eye. There he is on 2nd and 5. Will not get to the line of scrimmage. And it will be 3rd down coming up as McCoy gets a blow. And the humidity, Solomon, if you haven't played in this kind of weather, you can't possibly understand how it wears down your body. Buffalo and their staff really preaching hydration to their players, gave guys fluids to take home with them to try to get ready.
I love Rex Ryan saying that they don't have those mystifiers on the sideline. That the pads and the jerseys tend to get waterlogged. They will change socks at halftime, but now they're knocking on the door here inside the red zone. Let's see if they'll try to get it to Charles Clay again.
Taylor from the gun on 3rd and 5. Pressure up the middle. It's McCoy. Catch and run, and he's into the end zone. Tyrod Taylor on a 3rd down pass play. Awfully calm in the pocket, and it's McCoy doing the rest.
Tyrod Taylor, he knew where he wanted to go with the football right away. See, he's looking right over here, and then basically what you're going to get is what we call the switch route. And he'll come underneath. There's McCoy. Look at him. Coming right open. Clear touchdown.
Point after is good. 8 plays, 81 yards. Tyrod Taylor and this offense surgical in this opening quarter. LaShawn McCoy, his first Buffalo touchdown. And Rex Ryan jubilant on that sideline. Well, Joe Philbin and the Dolphins were hoping that this home opener would buck the trend of this slow start that has permeated this team to the first 2 games of the season, but so far that has not been the case. Tyrod Taylor, 2 drives of 77 and 81 yards as Buffalo jumps out to the 2-touchdown lead.
Tyrod Taylor is red hot. This Dolphins offense under Joe Philbin, not so much. Only 37 points scored in their first 2 games. They're averaging 18 points a game, not nearly enough to be competitive. So they've got to begin to use the playmakers in a way where they can get the ball down the field, because right now this defense looks like they're going to be worn out today.
11th career receiving touchdown for LaShawn McCoy. Did not have one all of last season. Gay's kick through the end zone. Ryan Tannehill will have his 3rd drive when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before.
Tonight, Week 3 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN. And Week 4 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. The Ravens and the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, by the way, carted off the field in their game today. As you see LaShawn McCoy being worked at, trying to keep that hamstring nice and loose. 14-0 Buffalo as we welcome you back to Sun Life Stadium. This is Lamar Miller dealing with his own injury today, that ankle. Their offensive line, Solomon from Miami, struggling already in this game. How do they jumpstart this offense?
Well, they're trying to do everything they can. See here, they can't even run it. Watch Kyle Williams play this backside. He stays home. They're disciplined in terms of their ability to shut down the Miami Dolphins running game. And we've already seen, even in the short passing game with Ryan Tannehill, they can't protect him. Jerry Hughes is getting penetration. They're nearly hitting the quarterback on every single pass down.
25 yards of total offense for the Dolphins through their first 2+ drives. 2nd and 9. Tannehill sometime completes over the middle. That's the tight end, Jordan Cameron. First season with Miami. And with that pass, Ryan Tannehill now 157 straight attempts without a pick. New franchise record.
And there you see what Ryan Tannehill can do if you provide him some protection. He's an athletic quarterback. I think sometimes you even may want to get him out on the move, on the perimeter, roll him out a little bit, give him some easier throws, better vision down the field.
When you consider the lack of protection that Tannehill has had so far this season, makes what he's done in terms of production even more impressive. That's Jarvis Landry, who has been electrifying for this team. Even with the subpar start, they pick up 7.
Now you go play action here. It makes it easier, I think, for the play to define itself for Ryan Tannehill. Easier to protect him as well, because the defense has to be a little more hesitant, respectful of the run before they can rush the quarterback. But Jarvis Landry continues to be a competitive player for this football team. He is the go-to receiver for Tannehill.
Landry had that 69-yard punt return for a touchdown. That was the difference in week 1 in their victory against the Redskins. 2nd and 3. Little sidearm shuffle feed to Cameron, who is immediately undercut by Corey Graham, who takes on even more responsibility, Solomon, with the absence of Aaron Williams.
And there you see Tannehill just moving in the pocket. He wasn't taking off to run, try to gain yards, just buying time. Trying to get away from Marcel Darius and allowing Jordan Cameron to take the lift from Corey Graham.
There's Rex Ryan, who talked about all the issues that they had defensively in the secondary, as we mentioned earlier. 466 yards for Tom Brady and New England in that 8-point defeat last Sunday. Tannehill on 3rd and 6. Here comes Williams giving chase. And Tannehill nowhere to go with the football. As Kyle Williams lumbering from the backside, Tannehill felt it. And once again, Miami will punt, and already the boos from the fans in this home opener.
Oh, they're struggling on 3rd downs. They really are. And I think it starts with the lack of protection. Right now, this offensive line is breaking down. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Continue to give the ball back over to the Buffalo Bills.
Dolphins averaging just 15 points with their offense through the first 2 weeks. This is Marcus Thigpen going to play it from just inside the 20. Thigpen's going backwards. A former Dolphin, 46 yards on the punt. Bobby McCain on the tackle for Miami. It has been all Buffalo till this point on CBS. Spero Dedes, Solomon Wilcots, rest of our CBS crew from Miami, 14-0. And now can this Dolphins defense generate anything defensively? Percy Harvin on the end around as this Buffalo offense continues to churn out yardage. Cole Nisi as a penalty marker. Looks like we'll bring this play. And Ndamukong Suh struggling so far today.
No doubt about it. And watch on this play. He's triple teamed. Look, that's going to be 3 guys there. 3 guys. So that means other guys are getting single opportunities. They've got to be able to win. There are 4 hands on Suh on every single play. Now, the stat sheet doesn't show everything that he contributes. He understands he has to be more productive and start to make more plays. I watched him do that last week in Jacksonville on 3rd and 1. He blows up a run play in the backfield. But they've got to get more out of everyone in that defensive front for Miami.
Here was the penalty, a late hit, unsportsmanlike on Rashad Jones. Looks like the penalty, Solomon, was against Buffalo, as that one is coming back. So we'll try to sort through the confusion after this play. It's a 2nd and 15 after the Buffalo penalty. They mark it just inside that 14-yard line. This is McCoy trying to find the edge. McCoy dances out of bounds, crossing the 15-yard line. A 9-yard pickup as you see the rain starting to come down here in Miami.
Spiro, we were here in the building in Miami on Friday, and we talked with their general manager, Dennis Hickey. I talked to him about the things he wanted to address during the offseason. He said one of the areas they wanted to become more physical on the offensive and defensive line. We already talked about the problems Joe Philbin is having with his offensive line, struggling to protect his quarterback, struggling to generate a run game, and the defensive line, they've yet to be able to coalesce in jail and become a disruptive force.
Rain starting to come down a little bit harder. 3rd and 11. Taylor throwing far side. It is caught. Chris Hogan. Now they say incomplete. Ball hit the turf. And now the moisture on the football, you have to think, will be a factor. As Miami's defense, Zahmed finally able to get off the field. Buffalo will punt.
The fans here are used to an afternoon shower, aren't they? We were coming in, we saw some of the storm clouds sort of hovering, and they said, oh, this is South Florida. We get that, just about every day in the late afternoon.
It feels like a sauna inside the stadium. At real field temperature approaching the triple digits at kickoff. Colton Schmidt, Buffalo's second-year punter, on to boot it away. Penalty marker thrown right at the line of scrimmage. This is Jarvis Landry. He's going to play it from around his own 33. Landry crosses the 45 inside Bills territory. 19 yards on the return from Landry, who is so dangerous in the open field. Garrison Sanborn on the tackle for the Bills. And once again, our referee today is Jerome Boger.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation, offense. They're on the 6-minute line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Holding, kicking team, number 65. The 10-yard penalty is enforced from the dead ball spot. Miami keeps the ball. First down.
Tonight on CBS, after 15 years, see how the original CSI ends. William Peterson returns for the unforgettable finale tonight after 60 minutes, only CBS. Well, we told you, Buffalo last Sunday in that loss to the Patriots, 14 penalties, 6 of them committed by their special teams. Well, can Tannehill now take advantage of a short field, by far their best field position today? So far, it has been ugly.
You can see what they've done in their first 3 possessions. Not much. Let's see if they can get something going on a short field.
1st and 10 from inside the Buffalo 40. Tannehill complete. Now it's incomplete and picked off the hands of Landry and intercepted by Preston Brown. And it goes from bad to worse for the Dolphins.
Unfortunate situation. They have great field position. You think they'd be able to get some points out of this possession. And Tannehill goes to his favorite receiver, which is going to be Jarvis Landry. He's going to bobble this ball and just put it up for grabs. And on defense, you always intercept tips and overthrows. Don't have to tell that to Preston Brown. He's able to come down with it for their first takeaway of the game. There you see Landry. See, he doesn't look it in. See him take his eyes off of it at the last moment. Thought he had it. Didn't look it all the way in. And this ball comes off his hip, then off his hands, into the hands of Preston Brown.
First interception thrown by Tannehill since week 15 of last season. Just after he sets a new franchise record for consecutive throws without a pick. For Brown, his second career interception. 1st and 10. This is Carlos Williams finding the edge, streaking inside Miami territory. And just like that, the momentum seized back by the Bills.
And whether it's LaShawn McCoy or the 6'1", 230-pound Carlos Williams, I tell you, Greg Roman's got himself a pair of running backs where they can gash a defense on any given play. They were successful rushing the ball last week against the New England Patriots, and Greg Roman dialing up that multiple rushing attack here today. They're going to try to grind it out against this Dolphins defense. They're going to have to find a way to stop Rex Ryan and that ground and pound attack of the Buffalo Bills.
Play clock starting to wind down, so Tyrod Taylor, who looks a little bit upset, will burn Buffalo's first timeout. We spent some time yesterday with Richie Incognito and talking about Greg Roman's running attack with all the multiple looks. And Incognito was like a kid in a candy store. He said, I've never played for such a complex running attack in all my years in the NFL, and he's just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Richie Incognito lit up when we asked him about Greg Roman and the way they run the football. He loves it because he loves coming downhill. Even the guys with the Miami Dolphins, when they talked about their former teammate, Richie Incognito, they said Richie makes every offensive line he's ever played on, he makes you tougher. And I know Greg Roman is happy to have him in Buffalo, uses him as a battering ram to pull him around and get him onto linebackers and defensive backs to power this run game.
Here's Roman, offensive coordinator in San Francisco the last 4 years, as Richie Incognito makes his return to Miami. That's a bullying scandal back in 2013 that led to the long suspension. 1st and 10, Buffalo from the Dolphins 47. This is Williams, the fullback. Boy, this kid looks dynamic, doesn't he? Had a 26-yard touchdown run on his first NFL carry. Saw him back in week 1, and they are very high on this kid that they took in the 5th round.
Did you see that, though? Did you see that? That was what we call a full house backfield. 2 fullbacks, the I-back, and Carlos Williams. That's an old college play. You don't see a lot of NFL teams going with a full house backfield coming downhill at you with a run game.
Already 2 touchdowns for Williams. Looking for more. Shedding tacklers all the way down to the Miami 30-yard line. Another 12 yards on the run from Williams. Michael Thomas, the safety, on the stop.
Now watch him break tackles. Sue get a hand on him in the backfield. Then he breaks another tackle there. He's a powerful runner. He scored a rushing touchdown in each of his first 2 career games to start the season. One against the Colts, one last week against the Patriots. He's looking for another one here on this drive.
Buffalo's run game already so deadly. 14-0 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, the first quarter that belonged to Buffalo, 14-0 as we rejoin you from Sun Life Stadium in Miami. Spiro Dita, Sam, and Wilcots. Rest of our CBS crew. Look at the total offense through the first 15 minutes, 200 to 39, favoring the visitors. Tyrod Taylor, deadly with his legs, running inside the 25, finally brought down by Koamisi. And it looks like Taylor saw him a little bit slow to get to his feet.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Koamisi right there. He tries to slide. Oh, that leg sort of gets jammed right under him.
Oh, boy.
Gets bent back just a little bit. You got to, if you go to slide, you got to get the heels up. Having played a little baseball, you know that. Heels up, then you slide.
Harvin in motion. This is the rookie Williams, still going. It has taken multiple defenders to bring Williams to the turf. First down run, 8 yards for Williams, and it hasn't taken the rookie very long to supplant Boobie Dixon as the number 2 back behind McCoy.
I'm watching this Miami Dolphins defense. In fact, I'm watching this Miami Dolphins football team. They appear to be very lethargic. No one is upset in that huddle that right now the Bills already have over 200 yards total offense. Guys are walking around, hands on their hip, and there's no sense of urgency right now with this Dolphins defense.
1st and 10. Here's Dixon. 3-headed monster with this Buffalo running attack. And Sami, you just wonder what the issue is with this Dolphins defense. They bring in Ndamukong Suh, the high-priced free agent. A lot of people feel like the fact that Cameron Wake dealing with his hamstring injury has been a big reason why they've struggled. What have you seen?
Well, they are a good defense. They have good talent. The penalties have really hurt them. And I don't think it's from a lack of effort. But sometimes the intensity is not there. I'm not seeing the passion and the intensity that you need coming off the ball, being a disruptive force. And you have their kind of talent, they should be making more plays on defense.
Taylor on a little short pass to Harvin on 2nd and 9. Harvin close to the 10. Needed to get to about the 6 for the first down. Tackled by Brent Grimes after Harvin picks up 5 on the catch and run.
And Spiro, sometimes it's not about scheme. This is not about, their defensive coordinator coming up with some kind of gimmick. We've seen missed tackles on the first drive. Charles Clay just making guys miss play after play. And Kevin Coyle, he puts together a good defense, a good scheme. But at some point, players have to take ownership and bring passion and intensity to the game, and you simply can't miss tackles in your home opener.
Sammy Watkins has been taken into the Buffalo locker room there looking at his calf. Return questionable. That pass from Taylor is caught. Chris Hogan with his first reception of the day. Inside the 10, appear to be short. Salmon, what do you do here with Buffalo having all the momentum? Looks like the field goal team will come out.
Yeah, you go ahead and take the points. Because remember, they did get the turnover. If you're Rex Ryan, you want those turnovers to equate to points. There's no sense in taking a risk here. Sooner or later, I guess this Miami team will wake up and they'll start to compete a little bit. But right now, you go ahead and give yourself that 17-point lead.
Rex Ryan told us last night that their bounce back from the New England game started actually in the fourth quarter of that loss last week, and that momentum certainly carried over into this one till this point. 26-yard attempts by the ex-Dolphin Dan Carpenter is good as they look at Taylor on that sideline. The pick from Preston Brown started it for Buffalo. Stay with us. Oh, your weekend starts with Thursday Night Football when the Steelers try to tough it out against Joe Flacco and the Ravens. One of the great NFL rivalries renews itself on CBS and NFL Network. We told you about Ben Roethlisberger carted off the field today in a scary moment for the Steelers. And the Ravens, meantime, fall to 0-3. Prior to this season, Baltimore, the only franchise that had never started a season at 0-3. There is Tyrod Taylor. You saw his left leg buckle under him. And Salmon looks to be in some discomfort. And the other big news this week for Buffalo, E.J. Manuel, now their backup quarterback after Matt Castle was traded to Dallas.
But I tell you what, Tyrod Taylor's been really prolific in this offense. They've been able to score almost 30 points a game in the 2 games he started. Their ability to run the football with him at the quarterback position has been phenomenal.
Here's Landry, the always elusive returner, crosses the 15 and runs it back for 17. 17-0 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. Audi, challenge all givens. And by Warner Brothers Pictures Pan, in theaters everywhere October 9th.
Well, this Miami offense with not much to show for till this point. Just 39 yards of total offense if you've just joined us. 17-0 Buffalo. First and 10, a fumble on the play. Penalty markers are thrown. Dolphins recover the football as they avert disaster. Jason Fox falls on it.
Outside, defense, number 53, moving into the neutral zone early. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Nigel Bradham on the penalty. So, Salman, if you're a Dolphins fan, it looks like it's a mess right now on both sides. And it's unfortunate offensively because Tannehill appears to be a quarterback blossoming, but they just can't protect him.
Well, Bill Lazor puts a lot on his quarterback, Tannehill. But more importantly, they've got to be able to establish a running game, something they have not been able to do so far this season. And so just no continuity.
First and 5 after the penalty. First carry from Jonas Gray, who was promoted this week to the active roster for the 4th time actually in the past 2 weeks. Minimal pickup.
So they go to run on this play. Jordan Cameron trying to block down. They can't get the running back to the second level of the defense. They struggle to run the ball, ranked 30th in the NFL, only averaging 58 rush yards per game. The fans here want to see the ball in the air. And Ryan Tannehill, I think so much falls on his shoulders in terms of the burden of carrying the offense, and right now they're struggling.
You saw the looks on some of those fans' faces. Home opener here. Not quite the party that these fans were expecting. 2nd and 5. This is Gray. It was a revelation late last season with New England. First down run from Gray. What a roller coaster rookie year he had. He had that Week 11 performance against Indy, 200 yards. Then a couple of days later was late, overslept, late to a practice, and was in Bill Belichick's doghouse the rest of the year.
And if he can average 4.6 yards per carry here in Miami, he could have himself a starting job. They need someone to stand up and take that position over to add balance to this offense.
Jordan Cameron in motion. First and 10 Miami. Play action from Tannehill. Surveys the defense, fires over the middle. It's caught. Landry right at the 40-yard line. First down pickup of 11. And now some extra pushing after the tackle between Landry and it looked like Nigel Bradham.
Now, Landry is a competitor. Watch, he'll come open over the middle of the field. He even is aware of where he's at on the field. Right there, he knows, get past that 40-yard line. You got yourself a first down. He was highly aware of where he was on the field, where he needed to be to pick up the first down. Landry
now with a catch. I should say 5+ catches for a 12th straight game. Here's Gray out past the 40. His first carries as a Miami Dolphin. They pick up 4 yards. Tonight, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump have something in common. They'll each answer some very tough questions tonight on the season premiere of 60 Minutes, only CBS. We're in Miami, Sun Life Stadium, Week 3. A pivotal early season divisional game between Buffalo and Miami. Two teams trying to bounce back after very disheartening performances last week. And the statistical numbers till this point heavily favoring the Bills. 2nd and 6. Landry on another catch. Crosses the 45. And brought down by a host of Buffalo defenders. They pick up 3.
You know, we're talking about how lethargic maybe the Miami Dolphins look. I think we have to give a lot of credit to the Buffalo Bills because they've come out swinging. I mean, Rex Ryan had his team chomping at the bit, ready to play here on the road. Defensively getting off to a fast start. And Tyrod Taylor taking his team right down the field on each of their first 2 possessions. Nearly both were 80-yard drives to score points. So we have to give them a lot of credit. I love the way they're tackling today on the back end of their defense in the secondary.
Dolphins 0-3 on 3rd down so far. Little pitch play. Landry trying to get him into some open space, and he is nowhere near that first down marker. Preston Brown forces him out. They dump him for a loss of 1.
I got to be honest. I don't like this for a 3rd down play. Okay, you're going to bring Jarvis Landry around. You're on that hash. You're running into the boundary. It's not enough space to run around this fast tackling defense. You're not going to get to the edge. I think you're better off pounding it toward the line of scrimmage. But that shows, I think, the lack of confidence they have in this offensive line to get movement, trying to maybe gimmick their way to rush yards to create a first down.
Busy day so far for the rookie punter, Matt Darr. Big Pen signals fair catch, and this one will take a Dolphins bounce, but they may have touched it a little bit prematurely. The Dolphins just can't seem to get out of their own way. 44-yard punt. Bowman touched it a little bit too soon. Back in June, the Dolphins organization visited May M. Walters Elementary School in Hialeah. More than 300 players, coaches, and staff participated in painting, landscaping, and providing various improvements to the school. The project, part of the Dolphins' 27-year partnership with Miami-Dade County Schools. Thrilling moment for a lot of those youngsters. Sal, you have any painting skills?
I get my hands dirty every now and then.
Buffalo's offense starting deep inside their own territory. 1st and 10. Carlos Williams has been the workhorse on their last drive plus. We are now under 7 minutes to play in this first half. We chatted with Rex Ryan. We didn't expect his bravado to disappear after that home loss last Sunday, but he was supremely confident, Sam, that their defense and their team was going to bounce back today.
Yeah, in fact, he told us he felt his team had bounced back in the second half of the ball game 1 week ago against the Patriots when they scored 19 points in the 4th quarter. He said, so we kept fighting in that game, and so we've already bounced back and we've moved on. They clearly have moved on the way they've come out here in the first half.
Taylor on 2nd and 8. Quick strike. This is Woods. Near side of the field. Crosses the 20. And a first down hookup. See the football come loose after Woods had hit the turf. 12 more yards. So Taylor, Solomon gritting through that what appeared to be a left leg injury. And this doesn't even bat an eyelash.
Well, Robert Woods had a lot of space there, and Taylor took advantage of it. Bryce McCain has to tighten up his coverage. We know Brent Grimes on the other end. Really good corner. Rashad Jones on the back end. Really good safety. But I think there are some holes in this Dolphins secondary that Taylor could take advantage of.
1st and 10. This is McCoy. One of the things about Tyrod Taylor, you look at his athleticism, Solomon, his escapability, his ability to use his legs. The question has been, can he get to the point where he's comfortable enough in the pocket to have the long-term success in the NFL?
No, we saw him week 1 against Indianapolis. He made plays throwing from the well. Remember the touchdown toss to Percy Harvin to get it going? He has clearly shown me he can make plays throwing from the pocket. Came into today's game completing 75% of his passes, so a good run-pass ratio. They show a lot of confidence in the young quarterback.
2nd and 8. This is McCoy, and he's going backwards. Penalty marker comes in late. You saw Earl Mitchell leading the charge from Miami. And what's the call here from Jerome Boger? It appears to be against Buffalo.
Holding. Offense, number 77. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That's Cordy Glenn, their 4th-year tackle and former 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, he's got to do a better job just anchoring. And, you know, there he's going to be at the left tackle, 77, Glenn, working against Mitchell. Right there. You can see, okay, Glenn, you got to let him go now. He's already past you. Getting up the field, got to be able to turn him loose.
Can Miami's defense get off the field and give Tannehill a short field before the end of the half? Quick strike over the middle. This is Harvin. Cuts back to the outside. Harvin crosses the 35, a first down, and a lot more. Another defensive breakdown by the Dolphins. Harvin burns him for 18.
And again, it is Bryce McCain. Now he's in that bump position, but he never gets his hands on Percy Harvin. Just giving up so much cushion, allowing Harvin to get the first down. And then Cam Wake on the stunt, coming underneath. Good protection by LaShawn McCoy, helping out his offensive line to keep the quarterback clean.
There's Harvin. You saw Wake, just 15 snaps last Sunday in that loss in Jacksonville. Still dealing with that hamstring strain. And so he would not make any excuses in our talk with him on Friday. Taylor pump fakes. On 1st and 10, he's going to throw it. Far side of the field, that's Hogan. The New Jersey native forced out of bounds just past the line of scrimmage. Minimal pickup of a yard. And forced out of bounds by the former Bill, Kelvin Shepard.
It seems like whenever Tyrod Taylor wants to make a play, he understands, I think, when they get the matchup, any of their talented receivers against Bryce McCain, who's not getting a jam at the line of scrimmage, not disrupting the timing between the quarterback and receiver, that it's just, I think, Pickens over there all day because there's room to catch the ball and then run for the first down marker after making the reception.
Play action from Taylor on 2nd and 9. Feeling some late pressure. Had his man Clay wide open. Boy, McCain was there, ready to lay a smack on the Buffalo tight end. It falls incomplete. And Taylor will face a 3rd and long.
Yeah, he just overthrew him on that play. All you got to do is be able to drop that in there. See, he threw him into the coverage, would have thrown him into the hit by Bryce McCain.
Sally, that was about to be a all-world collision between those two.
I will credit Bryce McCain for not taking that shot on him because Charles Clay was in what we call a defenseless position.
Would have been a penalty.
And had he launched with the helmet, the shoulder to the head of Clay, he would have been penalized, giving the Bills a huge gain on the play.
Bills will have to burn their 2nd timeout. That has been a focal point this year, that defenseless player even on an incompletion.
It's our song. And I hold it all to you.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait! Oh no!
There are thousands of ways into the complex healthcare system. And United Healthcare has ways to make the system simpler, like virtual doctor visits.
What happened here?
I came in too hot.
One timeout left for Buffalo. We'll see what kind of chance, Solomon, they take here. 3:14 to play. Dolphins trying to give Tannehill and their offense one last shot.
Oh, this offense has just been so good today. Buffalo Bills have just, I think, been executing really well. When you talk about what Tyrod Taylor's been able to do, churning out over 250 yards in the first half of this ball game, it's been really good. Taylor's putting up huge numbers. The run game is really getting cranked up. Carlos Williams, Shady McCoy, and then Clay. How about Charles Clay? I think if you want a tight end on your fantasy team, he's the guy that's, I think, beginning to put up huge numbers. I think he's just going to get better as the season goes on. Anytime he's playing against his former team, they're going to integrate him in the offense even more.
Clay had the 25-yard touchdown catch earlier. 4 catches, 70 yards. And Tyrod Taylor, Solomon, who entered the day 4th in the NFL in completion percentage, already at 75.5%, is 13 of 17 so far for $175 and 2 touchdowns.
He's gotten the ball to 6 different receivers, so he's spreading it around. I just love the way he's evolving in this offense. Didn't look good in that first half 1 week ago. Continued to hang in there and fight, and came ready to play today.
Light rain continues to come down. Here come the Dolphins on the blitz. They pick it up easily. 3rd and 9. Taylor launching for Harvin. Incomplete. Missed him by about a half a foot. Coverage on the play by Bryce McCain.
But you know why Taylor was able to drive this ball down the field. There was some pressure, but this is what they wanted to work with him on, to climb the pocket. But you can see the double move by Percy Harvin. They're going after Bryce McCain. We said that. That one was just overthrown by a little bit. Harvin wasn't able to get it. How about Bryce McCain just grabbing the arm ever so slightly of Harvin, able to throw him off balance.
You remember those little tricks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Away with his as a D. Tannehill 8 of 15, 63 yards over the middle. Inside Buffalo territory, Devontae Parker, the first-round pick out of Louisville, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Parker with only his 2nd catch in the NFL, 19 yards. He'll have it first down when we come back. Bills rookie corner Ronald Darby, the victim of a helmet-to-helmet hit, being looked at during the break on the sideline. He's replaced for the moment by Mario Butler, the second-year man out of Georgia Tech. That last catch by Devontae Parker went for 19 yards, longest offensive play of the day for Miami. Tannehill on 1st and 10. Low pass intended for Damian Williams. Ball's incomplete. Another look at that collision that sent Darby to the turf.
That's going to be Bakari Rambo running into his own teammate, Ron Darby, who was tackling Devontae Parker on the catch you had alluded to.
This Buffalo secondary entered the day a little bit thinner in the back end. Of course, the scary neck injury sustained by Aaron Williams last Sunday against the Patriots. Butler stays on the field on 2nd and 10. Dolphins have all 3 timeouts. And $1:57 as they desperately look for their first points. Tannehill over the middle, throw it behind Cameron. Incomplete.
Looked like it was on the back shoulder of Jordan Cameron. When we talked to Joe Philbin about his young quarterback Tannehill, one of the things he talked about, better ball placement. See it on the back shoulder, even though I think Jordan Cameron could have made better adjustment as Nigel Bradham was in coverage. But when he talked about improved ball placement from Tannehill, that means putting the ball in a position where your receiver can get the catch and run, create yards after the catch. Could have had a huge play there had he been able to hit Jordan Cameron in stride.
They're 0 for 4 on 3rd down here. Tannehill hit on the release, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown. A nightmare scenario for Miami, as Brown, the 2nd-year linebacker, barrels into the end zone. Bakari Rambo coming under pressure, and Preston Brown doing the rest.
They were able to disguise the blitz. They were able to get, you're going to see Bakari Rambo come from here, and then he just shoots the gap. It's just going to be an incredible play. They don't account for him on the offensive line, and he's going to hit the quarterback. Ball goes up, and there you see, catch and run for the interception. Beautiful play by Preston Brown, taking advantage of the pressure provided by Bakari Rambo.
Second interception of the day for Preston Brown. He returns it 44 yards for the pick six. 24-0 Buffalo. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, we'll send you to New York. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower with all the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. It's all next on the Verizon Halftime Report. A calamitous first half for Miami continues. 44-yard pick six by Preston Brown, Buffalo's stud second-year linebacker, and it's 24-0 Bills. It's Damian Williams, their backup running back, streaking across the 25, brought down just short of the 30. Salmon, they've still got the 3 timeouts, but this offense right now just shell-shocked.
Yeah, you're concerned because remember I said they should go empty, spread the ball around. But one thing Joe Philbin knows his quarterback's got to get rid of the ball quicker. Now, more importantly, this offensive line for the Miami Dolphins, right now it's a seal. They're not able to protect Ryan Tannehill. His jersey is getting plenty dirty. He's getting beaten up in this game. So I don't know that he can get rid of it fast enough before the blitzing defenders can get to him.
This drive will start from their own 28, 1st and 10. Ronald Darby back on the field for the Bills. Tannehill fires near side of the field. It is caught. That's Rashard Matthews. That'll be his second catch of the afternoon. Darby on the tackle, 18 yards and a first down.
Now, that was an impressive throw by Tannehill while under pressure. Still able to drive that ball out to the sideline for a completion.
Tannehill again from the gun, 1st and 10. Football comes loose. And it has been that kind of half for Miami. Jawan James, their right tackle, recovers. We'll take a timeout. Well, a home opener that has felt more like a funeral to this point. 24-0 Bills with a $1:10 to play before halftime.
Yeah, they got off to such a slow start, did the Miami Dolphins, on offense going 3 and out. And then Tyrod Taylor taking his team down the field. 5 plays, 79 yards, and the Bills jump out right away, 7-0. So clearly one team came to play while the other team, and we talked about it at the top, that this team needs to come out of hibernation. They appear to be sleepwalking here in the first half.
Solomon, you can look at it a couple of ways, their first 2 games, but basically Miami is one Jarvis Landry punt return away from being 0-2. And right now, staring down the barrel of an 0-3 start. 2nd and 16, Tannehill, back shoulder throw, incomplete, trying to find Matthews. Moisture on the football has to be a factor here. We've had late rain since just after the opening kick.
Well, their biggest problem is they can't run the football. Only 20 yards rushing here in the first half, even when the score was manageable. But now you're down 24-0. I don't know that they would ever put together a game plan where Tannehill would come in against the Bills and throw 59 times like Tom Brady did 1 week ago. It's just not what you would want to draw up with this offensive line being porous against this great pass rush of the Buffalo Bills.
They've averaged under 4 yards per play. Not going to win too many games in this league at that clip. Tannehill, pocket starts to collapse, fires, completes. This is Landry. Right at midfield, they pick up a dozen. Still well short of that first down marker. And now it looks like Miami will take their second timeout with under a minute left, first half. Well, during the break, a Dolphins staffer was adjusting the communication device inside the helmet of Ryan Tannehill. He's been banged around, Solomon. Pretty good reason why it's happened.
Yeah, I'm sure the technology's been dislodged a little bit. But one thing we know about Tannehill, he's a tough cookie. I've seen him stand in there game after game, take hits. You know, his rookie season, played in all 16 games. He refused to come off the field some games.
Dolphins are going to go for it here on 4th and 4. Solomon really no choice here, down 24-0. One timeout left for them. Jerry Hughes coming around the edge on a blitz. Tannehill picked for the 3rd time. It's Darby inside Dolphins territory. 21 yards on the return, and what a moment for Darby. Left the game for a moment earlier in this drive. And a nightmare scenario continues for Tannehill and Miami.
Well, it starts because they don't pick up the pressure coming off the corner here. And then you're going to see, look, there you got 2 defenders there. He tries to throw it in that small window. And then watch Jerry Hughes. So he's got to cut it loose. But who do you throw it to? Jordan Cameron, you tried to get it in there, but he's under pressure, panicked a little bit, overthrew it for the interception.
2nd interception for the rookie Ronald Darby, who picked Andrew Luck in that opener in Buffalo. 40 seconds to play before halftime. And a lot to talk about for Joe Philbin and these Dolphins in that locker room. Another reminder coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher will get you updated around the NFL in Week 3, plus a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network on the Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd and 11. Taylor, Dolphins trying to get off the field here quickly as Charles Clay continues what has been a brilliant first half. And Solomon getting very close to getting inside field goal range. You take a shot, maybe down the field into the end zone.
Yeah, you got one. You got room for one shot with 12 seconds to go. If you catch it, you got to get out of bounds because that was their last time out. So you got to be able to catch it, get out of bounds to stop the clock. And so if I'm the Miami Dolphins, you got to defend any passes that are thrown near the sideline. But certainly you can't give them the middle of the field and allow them to walk into the end zone.
Well, Carpenter last year made 6 field goals from 50-plus. That was a Bills single-season record. It would be a 56-yard attempt from where they are right now.
This could be a bubble screen right at the top.
1st and 10, Taylor from the gun. Again, excellent protection. Throwing far side of the field. It's caught by Robert Woods, the 3rd-year man. Out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. They're out of timeouts. 8 seconds left. What do you do here?
I think right now you got to go ahead and go for the field goal. You typically only got about maybe 7 seconds this far away on a pass and throw. Or excuse me, a throw and catch. Not enough time to try to get more done, so you go ahead and take the field goal.
Carpenter, who played for Miami between 2008 and 2012, will try to attempt his 2nd field goal of the day, hit earlier from 26. Excellent hold. Kick on target, and it is good. Well, as if it couldn't get any worse for Miami. Buffalo opportunistic. Intercept Tannehill for the 3rd time, and they tack on 3.
The Bills have been very efficient and taken advantage of every opportunity, getting turnovers and converting them into points, getting great field position, getting even more points here before you end out the half. If you would have told Rex, hey, we're going to go down to Miami and put 27 points on the board in the first half, it's incredible. And then they're going to receive the kick to begin the second half.
Rex Ryan got up at the podium after that loss, Solomon, last Sunday against the Patriots and said, this one's on my shoulders. Fully expected his team to respond today, and at least 2 quarters complete. This has been a laugher favoring the Bills, up 27-0.
Look at that. Last 13 pass attempts by Ryan Tannehill. 3 interceptions, and had set the team record. His previous 160 consecutive pass attempts had not thrown an interception. So when it rains, it pours, and I don't just mean that because we have bad weather here. Ryan Tannehill knows exactly what I mean.
Jordan Gay on the short kick. Still 3 seconds left on the clock. You know, the Dolphins, by the way, have to go to London for their game next weekend. They'll take on the Jets at Wembley Stadium. And after today, Solomon, they won't have another home game here until October the 25th.
That's
Puts
like
even more pressure on winning this game.
Yeah, that's like a month away from today. That's 4 weeks from now. And this is their home opener, and Joe Philbin cannot be happy with the way his team has come out. Very lethargic, I thought. Lack the energy and the passion to be able to begin this game looking to do something meaningful on either side of the ball.
Well, Joe Philbin 3-0 in home openers as Dolphins head coach. It has been a different story so far today. 27-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, the Buffalo Bills having their way with the Miami Dolphins up 27-0 as we get ready for the second half. Time now to take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. This one got away from the Dolphins early. Their old tight end, Charles Clay, on a 25-yard touchdown catch and run from Tyrod Taylor. On CBS, Spiro Dedes and Solomon Wilcots. A lot of good from Tyrod Taylor and a lot of bad, Solomon, in the first half from Ryan Tannehill.
Well, that's because he's been under pressure. The offensive line has not done a good job of picking up the blitzing pressure all day. And he doesn't see Bakari Ramble coming deep from that secondary. He'll split the offensive line. They don't pick up the blitzing defender. And watch at the bottom of the screen. This is Jerry Hughes. He's going to jump the passing lane from a panicking Ryan Tannehill. Throws it right to him. He marches 44-yard for the interception return, and then on another interception, the third of the first half, it was because the blitzing pressure coming off the corner, Tannehill panicked yet again, and then threw the ball up for grabs. So here are your second half adjustments. If you are the Buffalo Bills, keep blitzing and adjust to nothing, because everything you did in the first half seemed to work on both sides of the ball. And if I am the Miami Dolphins, I got to go max protection for my quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. He's been hit way too much. The jersey's getting dirty, and then he's turning the ball over. As we said, 3 interceptions in the first half. Max protection is all you can do to help that offensive line. It's all you can do to help your quarterback.
Just so hard to explain what we've seen from Miami, or really haven't seen over the first 2+ weeks of the season, Solomon. This was a team that had made a lot of free agent maneuvers in the offseason. They were equipped to really kind of take that next step and become a playoff team for the first time under Joe Philbin. But it has gotten awfully ugly for this club over the first 2+ weeks, down 27-0 in their home opener against this Bills team led by that man, Tyrod Taylor. First half possessions, awfully impressive for this Bills offense.
They got off to the fast start. 5-play, 79-yard touchdown drive in their very first possession, then backed it up, going the length of the field, another 81 yards for another touchdown, and then the defense kind of got it going. They were able to put points on the board, creating turnovers in the first half of the ball game.
Don't forget the defensive work done by Buffalo. A couple of interceptions by Preston Brown, included in that a 44-yard pick six to get them to 24-0. Percy Harvin on an end-around play. And now can this Dolphins defense, led by Kevin Coyle, Solomon, just come up with anything, led by that man, Ndamukong Suh as well, in the second half?
They're not getting sacks. They're not getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. They're not creating turnovers, and I think even more disappointing, they're not tackling well as a defense. And that has to be disconcerting, I think, to their head coach, Joe Philbin, certainly to the fans here in South Florida.
Charles Clay in motion. 2nd and 3. It's Harvin again. Brought down at the 35-yard line. 8 yards and another Buffalo first down. This has lopsided a game statistically through one half, as you'll see in the NFL.
Well, Buffalo Bills certainly came out, and their ability to run it and throw the ball, I think, shows balance on offense. And I think it's been the opposite for the Miami Dolphins. Only 20 yards rushing in the first half.
First down run for McCoy. Well, the week started, Solomon, with the Dolphins and their head coach having to deny the reports out of one of the local papers here in Miami that Ndamukong Suh was freelancing last week, but they've got other issues right now as they try to figure out what's gone wrong.
Yeah, and we didn't get the sense from talking with anyone in the building that they're disappointed in Ndamukong Suh. When I put the tape on and I watched each of their first 2 ball games, I didn't see anything to confirm those negative allegations that have been levied in his direction. In fact, I saw a guy that was running, that was hustling, that's being double-teamed a lot. And, I told you, whatever he does doesn't always shows up in the stat sheet.
A pass from Taylor, nowhere to go but the turf. It'll be a 3rd and long coming up. Sammy Watkins and Buffalo guard John Miller both being looked at. Calf injuries for both as we take another look at Suh giving chase.
Yeah, and there you see right there. I thought he could have, he did everything he could right there. He was single block there. Maybe you have to be able to win and get to the quarterback faster. But even talking to the Bills defensive lineman last week against a quick passing Tom Brady, Marcel Darius said it's very frustrating when you're working and you're working. By the time you get there, the ball's gone. And then that one time you let up, the quarterback's still holding the football.
Taylor from the gun on 3rd and 12. His pass is caught near side of the field. Percy Harvin on the catch. Right at the first down marker. Needed to get to the 40. And they're right there. And now they say first down Buffalo.
And look at the cushion given up by Bryce McCain. We talked about it. We saw this last week when he went up against Allen Robinson, had a huge day against Bryce McCain. Percy Harvin he has the kind of speed you got to respect. But you have to be able to cover much tighter in the National Football League and can allow those easy throws in front of you for first down completions.
Harvin pushed out at the 45-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Sammy Watkins, by the way, downgraded to out with that calf injury. McCoy will be dumped down for a loss. Derek Shelby, who played most of the second half in that loss last Sunday in Jacksonville for Cam Wake, on the tackle.
McCoy has battled with that hamstring injury. He was slowed in practice this week. And
how much of a factor, Solomon, do you think that has been? Because he's been a motor for this defense the last couple of years.
He's got 8 carries, 14 yards, and he's had significant opportunities. Carlos Williams now seems to be more of a workhorse within the offense. When you're not able to practice, you don't have that second gear. I would have to imagine it's affecting his performance.
There's Carlos Williams, a rookie getting downhill. Will get brought down at around the 48. What about Wake, Solomon? A guy who's been so good for this Dolphins defense. The fact that he hasn't been at full strength with the hamstring, how much is that factored into the slow start for their defense?
When you are an explosive athlete, fast twitch muscle fiber, if you will, like a Cameron Wake, his game is all about speed coming off the corner, and then you have a hamstring injury. You lack the explosive ability to blow around the slower, bigger offensive lineman. And now you're just a little guy who, just as slow as they are, and you can't use your greatest asset. So certainly I think he's hampered by the injury, but he's not using it as an excuse.
Taylor on 3rd and 6. Slings it near side. It's Harvin again. And Harvin now starting to cash this defense. Another Buffalo first down.
Yeah, and Bryce McCain in coverage. Bryce McCain right there. So you had to get a hand on him. But you can see, they're hand fighting. McCain's going to say Harvin pushed off. And then Cameron Wake coming around the corner. He gets double teamed with the chip by Boobie Dixon. And then Ndamukong Suh double teamed yet again. So they're doing everything they can scheme-wise as the Buffalo Bills to negate the playmaker so that they can make plays on offense. Great protection for the quarterback, Tyrod Taylor.
Pitch play to McCoy trying to find the edge. McCoy will barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Percy Harvin, Solomon, 6 catches, 57 yards, and you called him a gamer when we had him a couple of weeks ago against Indianapolis. Missed the entire preseason with a hip injury, but he has hit the ground running with his new team. Looks like an injured Buffalo offensive lineman. That's Seantrell Henderson as the trainers come onto the field. We'll get you an update on Henderson as we take a break. Patriots continue to steamroll their way through the AFC East. Scored 51 points today in their lopsided win over Jacksonville. Seantrell Henderson able to walk off on his own power. Looks like he's okay. This is Taylor on 2nd and 12. All day to throw the football. He's going to run it inside the 45. Runs out of bounds at the 40. Solomon, how about New England? 91 points for the Patriots over the last 2 weeks.
The Patriots right now are a machine, and everyone else is just playing catch-up. You know, the Bills feel like they'll be ready the next time they play the Patriots. Now, they got a lot of work to do based on what we saw last week. But remember, the Buffalo Bills were going up against a heavyweight in the Patriots 1 week ago, and it's their second game last week in Greg Roman's offense and their second game in Rex Ryan's defense. So you got to know that the Bills are going to improve as the season progresses.
Baby Dixon flanking Taylor on 3rd and 9. Taylor stumbles close to the 37. Seantrell Henderson, by the way, back on the field. Bills already are without John Miller, their rookie guard out of Louisville, who left the game with a calf injury. But it looks like good news on Henderson. Rex Ryan will send out his field goal unit. A lot of talk before the season that Buffalo and Miami were the two teams that could finally maybe push New England in the division. But 2+ weeks in, looks like Buffalo may be the only team that's got a chance. 54-yard attempt for the ex-Dolphin Dan Carpenter. Sit from 26 and 51. And this one is wide to the left. One of the few things that have gone right for the Dolphins. 27-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL.
First half possessions for Ryan Tannehill and this Miami offense. Not a lot to feel good about if you're a Dolphins fan here in week number 3. This is Lamar Miller getting close to the 50. So Ryan Tannehill, the 8th overall pick in 2012. Shaky start to his career coming into the league a couple of years ago. Blossoming. They give him that big contract extension, but just an awful start for this team through the first 2+ weeks.
And maybe this is where Ryan Tannehill has to take the next step in his career, because they clearly cannot run the football today. The offensive line has not given him great protection, but someone has to be able to sort of rally this football team again to make plays.
Bill Lazor trying to get Jarvis Landry, his dangerous receiver, into some open space. Different looking play than we've seen so far as Landry is forced out of bounds. There's Lazor's second season as Joe Philbin's offensive coordinator.
You know, and the other thing that I talked about with General Manager Dennis Hickey, he talked about needing to get more physical on the offensive defensive line. He said they wanted to overhaul their wide receiving core, develop more quarterback-friendly targets. Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, Greg Jennings, Jordan Cameron to go along with Jarvis Landry. The playmakers have to begin to make plays.
3rd and 3. First down pickup as Rashard Matthews runs a little crossing route. They pick up 8 inside Buffalo territory. It'll be first down.
Yeah, Matthews has been a pleasant surprise here for the Dolphins. Had over 100 yards receiving in the game last week, along with Jarvis Landry against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but clearly enough plays here today of any significance.
Matthews with his second catch for 32 yards. 1st and 10. Dolphins keep it on the ground. Here's Miller inside the 35. There was that story about Rashard Matthews, Solomon, driving to the team facility the night of the draft upon learning that they had drafted Devontae Parker. Cleaned out his locker, told his agent to demand a trade. He was finally convinced to come back. And as you said, he's been one of the few bright spots for this team here in week 3.
Yeah, he didn't think he would get any opportunities. You know, sometimes players just all they want is an opportunity, but no need to throw up the white flag of surrender. And, you know, Matthews came into OTAs and training camp ready to compete, and he's really stood out in the first couple of weeks to begin the season.
Dolphins go two tight ends, Cameron and Jake Stoneburner, who had the touchdown catch last week. And there he is, Stoneburner, with his first reception. And pick up 13 yards and a first down. How about that? Stoneburner's first catch in the NFL last week, a 5-yard touchdown.
And they're now starting to get some movement on offense. And I think because they've been able to sprinkle in a run play here or there on this drive, and they're starting to free some receivers up at the second level. Getting the ball to Matthews. Stoneburner also starting to make some plays.
Stoneburner, the undrafted rookie free agent coming into the league last season with Green Bay. Sets up a 1st and 10. Tannehill, play action, fires end zone. It is caught. Matthews for the touchdown. And finally, the Dolphins showing a heartbeat. 21 yards, Tannehill to Matthews.
You know, we talked about the fact that they needed to be able to get Tannehill out of the pocket and on the move. And I think that's exactly what they needed to do. And they're going to bring him, look, clear across here. But watch how Tannehill rolls out. It gives him a clear vision to get the ball down the field. He's got a big-time arm. Watch him throw the receiver open. And they talk about here in Miami, you throw to the spot. It's the receiver's job to get there. And boy, did Matthews get there in a hurry.
5th career touchdown reception for Matthews. And now the Dolphins going for 2. Down 27-6. Where does Tannehill go here? Working from the shotgun. He's got Landry cutting across the middle. Did he get in? Yes, he did. So the 2-point try converted by the Dolphins. And that'll get him to 27-8. Finally, something for Joe Philbin and the Dolphins to feel good about. Matthews on the 21-yard touchdown catch. And then Landry able to bust it in on the successful 2-point try. 5th career receiving touchdown for Rishard Matthews. 4th touchdown pass thrown this season by Ryan Tannehill, who's now thrown a touchdown in 19 of his last 20 games. Salman, what did you see differently that worked for Miami on that drive?
Well, I do think that they ran the ball. They were able to move it somewhat to where the defense had to respect play-action pass, and then to be able to roll Tannehill out, to get him outside of the pocket, create vision down the field. You could see the big-time arm for the touchdown pass.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
27-8 after Ryan Tannehill takes advantage of the short field after that missed field goal attempt a couple of minutes ago by Dan Carpenter. 1st and 10. Play action from Taylor. One of the few times he's been under pressure in this game. Taylor's going to tuck it away and pick up a couple as he's run out of bounds by Terrence Fede. Wednesday, don't miss the premiere of the new medical drama Code Black. Academy Award winner Marcia Gray Harden stars, premiering Wednesday at 10/9 Central, only CBS. You know, Tyrod Taylor, Solomon, is still such an unknown for casual NFL fans. He's been so good through the first couple of weeks. You see what a difference from last week to this. 8 sacks in that loss to New England with 3 interceptions. We asked Rex Ryan, what kind of guy is Tyrod? He told us a great story about the preseason. Every team will have a conditioning test when they come to training camp, and usually the quarterback will run with the linebackers and some of the slower guys, if you will, on the team, the linemen. Taylor insisted on running with the speed guys, the receivers and the backs, and he said he took it upon himself to beat those guys every time they raced.
He did. Hey, that shows you the competitor he is, and it also showed you that he arrived at training camp with a purpose. He wanted to prove to the other 52 guys that he deserved to be their starting quarterback, and I think he not only won over the coaching staff to a man, he's won over every single one of his teammates.
3rd and 4. That pass low is caught. Boy, what a day Percy Harvin is putting together. Harvin with a 9-yard reception coverage by Grimes.
Look, to trust him to make this throw, clear outside the numbers against Brent Grimes. And Taylor made that throw from the pocket. I mean, he showed some arm strength. And how about Harvin going down to dig it out? So Harvin has come in. He's made some plays for his quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. But Taylor's doing a really good job of distributing the ball to his weapons on the field.
Harvin, 7 catches for 66 yards. First down, it's LaShawn McCoy. Now the question, could the passing game, Solomon, catch up with what Buffalo has been able to produce with this ground game that entered the day 3rd in the league? And so far, Taylor has answered those questions very quickly.
Absolutely. They're running the ball, but even when I saw this Dolphins defense to apply some pressure, his ability to move around, and look, you see the distribution in terms of getting the ball to, you see 5 different receivers there, but he's completed passes to 6 different receivers in the game.
2nd and 7, quick strike. This is Woods. Brought down right after the catch. Taylor's got one of the great nicknames in the NFL. They call him T-Mobile. Guy obviously so elusive with his feet. And as you pointed out earlier, Solomon, a guy who won over that locker room that is dominated by the defense so quickly, they say, back in training camp.
Yeah, he was used to that, having played in Baltimore with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. He said it's almost similar here. He and Corey Graham had played in Baltimore and knew what it was like playing and being in a locker room where it was really dominated by defensive personality.
3rd and a short 1. Dixon unable to get the first down. So finally, Miami starting to take a little bit of the momentum. They dump Dixon for a loss of a yard. 4th down, and the Bills will punt.
Take a look at Ndamukong Suh. This is where he can split it. And see, he makes the play there. He made this very same play on a 3rd and 1 in Jacksonville last week and stuffed them. He has the ability to be a destroyer, as Rex Ryan said. And you saw him making a play there.
Injured Dolphin on the field. Jelani Jenkins, Miami's 3rd-year linebacker, and their leader in tackles last season, able to walk off. Also, Boobie Dixon was slow to get to his feet. Looks like both players are okay. This will be the 100th career punt for the 2nd-year man, Colton Schmidt. Some contact, and now late marker thrown by Jerome Boger. We'll see if this is either a running into the kicker or perhaps a roughing the kicker. Didn't appear to be that hard on the contact.
Defense, number 35. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And that will be a first down. 5-yard penalty. Needed less than that for the first down, and those penalties that have been such an Achilles heel for Miami come back to haunt them again.
Yeah, they continue to do it. Cost him a game last week. Walt Aikens, you can see him right there, running right into the kicker. Wow. Remember, Olivier Vernon had a crucial penalty at the end of the game last week against Jacksonville. Joe Philbin talked about it, said it really cost him. He showed his players a tape of every single penalty they had last week and then showed them what the outcome was. It wasn't good, cost him the game.
There's the rookie Williams finding the edge inside the 50 and brought down after a run of 4. And we've got 2 coaches in this game, Sally, who are about as polar opposite as you can get. Rex Ryan, all his bluster and bravado. Joe Philbin, such a mild-mannered coach, but he was upset after the performance from his team in that game last week.
Yeah, he said 13 penalties led to 17 points for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and 8 of those 13 penalties came in the 4th quarter of the ball game at critical moments.
I told you earlier, Sammy Watkins is done for the day, a calf injury. 27-8 Buffalo, 2nd and 6. This is Williams again. Already a couple of rushing touchdowns for the 5th-round pick out of Florida State. There's Watkins on that Buffalo sideline, a guy who had to deal with a host of injuries last season. Solomon, so gritty. Was able to fight his way through, but said he learned a lot about maintaining his health during the course of a long season.
Yeah, appeared to be ready to make plays here in the early going of the game. Would have had himself a touchdown. Came down out of bounds. Just maybe one step away from scoring.
See the breakdown in play calling today. 3rd and 2. Dolphins defense trying to get off the field. Taylor from the gun. Dolphins coming. Taylor flushed out. And that pass for Clay incomplete. There was a marker thrown. And it was Brent Grimes on the coverage.
If this is on the Dolphins, well, Joe Philbin might blow a gasket.
Illegal use of hands. Defense, number 79. Hands to the face. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Wow.
That's Derek Shelby, the 4th-year defensive end.
They're going to be done. They're going to get off the field. This is just, watch number 79. You see him right there. He's working there. See the hands to the face right there. They're going to call that. Now, you're hurting your football team, and we call that a selfish play because you're thinking about yourself. You award your opponent a new set of downs. It's now 1st and 10, and you'd have been off the field after that play.
1st and 10. Taylor's going to take a shot. Incomplete. Intended for Woods. You saw his feet get tangled up with Jamar Taylor, but that pass was uncatchable. And it's such a deflating thing for defense, Solomon, just about to get off the field, and those penalties, as they try to fight through it here, down 27-8.
Yeah, it continues to be a problem. And that's self-inflicting, as Joe Philbin talked about, and we met with him on Friday. You know, it's hard enough to beat your opponent when you're beating yourselves. And it's just about discipline and focus and being able to do your job, but do it within the rules and still be able to go out and perform.
Could be the final play of the quarter. On 2nd and 10, this is McCoy. Short pickup inside the 40. It'll be a 3rd down play. One play resumes, but it has been all Buffalo. Up 27-8 as we reach the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Miami after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The Dolphins able to score their first 8 points in that 3rd quarter, but still 19 down as we begin the 4th. Spiro Ditas, Solomon Wilcots, the rest of our CBS crew from Sun Life Stadium in Miami. 11th play of the drive for Buffalo that began at their own 20. 3rd and 9 inside the Miami 40. Taylor under pressure, hit on the throw. He has his man. It's Hogan into the end zone for the Buffalo touchdown. 38 yards from Tyrod Taylor.
Here's Hogan. You're talking about just throwing it to a spot. That's exactly what happened. Chris Hogan, he's going to get up top right here and then watch this throw. Great vision down the field, just dropping this in the bucket. Hogan's one of those players that continues to compete. Look, the safety doesn't get over the top. The corner just let him go. Just an easy throw and catch for a touchdown.
5th career receiving touchdown for Chris Hogan, the 3rd-year man out of Monmouth University in New Jersey. And those back-breaking penalties against Miami coming back to haunt them. The running into the kicker gave the Bills the first down. And Chris Hogan from 38 yards out into the end zone. Oh, your weekend starts with Thursday Night Football when the Steelers take on Joe Flacco and the Ravens on CBS and NFL Network. Nothing official on that left knee injury that Ben Roethlisberger sustained today, but the early reports are that he could miss up to 4 weeks. You see the standings in the AFC North as the Ravens with just a very disappointing start at 0-3. We'll get ready for that short week. Tyrod Taylor, Solomon, has just been brilliant.
Been phenomenal for these Buffalo Bills. How about Rex Ryan? Kind of knew early on at some point in training camp that this would be the right man for the job.
Landry watches that sail through the end zone. 34-8 Buffalo.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Honda, the power of dreams. And by FedEx, solutions that matter.
Chris Hogan, long touchdown reception. And a lot to feel good about if you're a Buffalo Bills fan here in Week 3. 34-8. We're just a couple of seconds gone by here in the fourth. Tannehill under pressure, set. Marcel Darius getting there for the Bills. Darius suspended Week 1. Looked a little bit fatigued in his season debut last Sunday. Different story today.
But he's going to keep working. Go ahead and roll it. Watch him get up the field. Then he's going to come back underneath to find Tannehill.
Tannehill on 2nd and 11. Will take a chance up the far side, and that play intended for Kenny Stills incomplete. I thought one of the highlights of our meeting with Buffalo yesterday, Marcel Darius walking in with a Mr. Rogers t-shirt that said it's all good in the hood, and a smile on his face.
This team they were relaxed yesterday. They knew they needed to get it going. He said that all of them played well. Just wasn't the defensive line, wasn't the back end of the defense, but they expected to get back on track here today in South Florida, and boy, have they. But there was no panic with Rex Ryan or anyone on this football team.
3rd and 11. Tannehill 15 of 28. And 3 interceptions. This pass is complete. Crossing route run by the rookie Devontae Parker. Their first-round pick out of Louisville for a rare Miami first down. They pick up 18 yards.
Tannehill's real good on those in-breaking cuts. You saw it by Devontae Parker. The previous throw on the vertical route, that's where he's highly inaccurate.
It'll draw play on 1st and 10. Lamar Miller across the 40 and brought down by Preston Brown. They'll never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app today. Sun Life Stadium. Dolphins did not show up today in their home opener. Right now getting beaten down by their division rivals from Buffalo. Tough catch made by Jarvis Landry, spun around, and another first down pass play, that time from 14 yards.
Good throw. Thrown just a little bit behind Landry. He adjusts to it very well. Good friend of Odell Beckham Jr. You could go on YouTube and find these guys making one-hand grabs all over the place. Just good pair of friends, but good pair of hands also.
Tannehill slinging it on 1st and 10. That's Parker again pushed out of bounds. Not only good friends, but ex-teammates, Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. And also, they've got the identical hairstyle to one another.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I could tell you like it. That little blonde tip.
I think you can pull that off as well.
No, so you like it for someone else. If you're
I like it for you. I think
if you're going to like
tips.
it, then you've got to dive in first.
I'm not sure if I could pull that off. But thank you. 34-8. With just under 13 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Damian Williams in the backfield, flanking Tannehill. On 2nd and a short one. Jerry Hughes coming blindside. Strips it and comes up with the football. There is a penalty marker thrown just beyond the line of scrimmage. Jerry Hughes with double-digit sacks each of the last 2 years. It looks as though this one will be negated.
While the quarterback is still in the pocket, holding, defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Bogert not announcing who it was against, but that look from Rex Ryan tells the story.
Yeah, he's perplexed. It was Jerry Hughes coming off the corner. He beat Fox coming around the corner, and it was an impressive move. He was able to not only strip the ball, but come up with the turnover.
Boy, look at Rex Ryan seething on that Buffalo sideline. 1st and 10 after the penalty, just inside the 30. Tannehill getting the football out a little bit quicker now, Solomon. That one complete to the second-year running back out of Oklahoma, Damian Williams. They pick up 5.
Well, clearly this offensive line isn't able to protect it. Remember last week, Tom Brady against this Bills defense, he got the ball off an average of less than 2 seconds. He threw the ball 59 times, and the ball was coming out so quick that this defensive line couldn't lay a hand on him. So later, they were so frustrated, they stopped pass rushing. And so they wanted to be able to do some of the same things today here in Miami, but certainly they fell way short of that goal.
Tannehill on 2nd and 5, a pump fake, penalty marker thrown. That's Matthews on the catch. Very close to that first down marker, needed to get just inside the 20. Appears as though they've got it. Now we await the penalty call. That flag thrown in the Buffalo secondary.
Holding, defense, number 37. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first time.
Now, it doesn't look like a coach whose team is ahead 34-8. Mikel Roby, the culprit.
We talked about all the penalties the Dolphins had 1 week ago. They had 13, the most they've had in about 19 years. 14 was had by the Buffalo Bills in that defeat to the Patriots. So Rex Ryan knows it's an area they have to clean up.
9 combined penalties between the two teams. As we come up on 11 minutes left. Tannehill over the middle. This is Landry. Had that career day last Sunday, 110 yards receiving in the loss in Jacksonville. That time picks up 9.
He's going to have a lot of great days in a Miami Dolphins uniform. Real talented player, and you love the way he competes. Does it every day in practice, and when he takes the field on Sunday, he's looking for more.
Tannehill's pass for Cameron sails incomplete. Cameron left that game with a groin injury last Sunday. A couple of productive years in Cleveland. A Pro Bowler back in 2013.
Cameron's a good player, but remember, the Dolphins had the other tight end, Charles Clay, 1 year ago. They put the transition tag on him. Buffalo kind of felt like they fleeced the Dolphins for a really talented player. Rex Ryan, you know, he had that grin as if he had kind of stole one from the opponent. That they relent or hope it creates a mistake.
Easy call for Joe Philbin to make. 4th and goal. Tannehill going end zone, incomplete. Intended receiver Devontae Parker. And a turnover on downs gives it back to Buffalo. Corey Graham, the safety on the coverage. A 15-play, 78-yard drive stalls at the 2. Tonight on CBS begins with the season premiere of 60 Minutes with Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, followed by the series finale of CSI, only CBS. Tyrod Taylor and Buffalo are pushed back about as far as they can go. 1st and 10. They'll try to pick up as much positive yardage as they can. Carlos Williams, a nifty little 6-yard run on 1st down.
Hey, Richie Incognito, you talked about him loving the pool. Watch him come around right here on the kick-out block. He springs it. Look at this kick-out block right here. He said he likes to get to those linebackers. We talked about the toughness he gives the football team. You saw it right there. Greg Roman wants to use him as that kind of battering ram, and boy, does he love it.
Incognito back in Miami. After that suspension ended his run here back in 2013. That pass is incomplete. Nice effort by Clay. We visited with Incognito yesterday talking about the emotions that he would feel coming back to Miami. And speaking of him pulling, he says he doesn't like to hit DBs because they always go at his knees. But he likes to hit those linebackers. He told the Salmon that he'd slim down those long off-season workouts that he had in Arizona. And he says that he's moving better and just feels better in general.
Hey, he looks good. There's no doubt about it. And he said that he wouldn't have any emotions coming into this. He doesn't have any hard feelings. I think the coaches and the players, when we talked to them about Richie Incognito, they had wonderful, positive things to say. Mike Pouncey said he's the best guard he's ever played with.
Dixon is buried for a loss. Nice play by Koamisi. Incognito said that he met privately with the new owners of the Bills, Terry and Kim Pagula. He said it just felt right in terms of what his landing spot would be, and he says he has a new appreciation for the privilege, as he called it, of playing in the NFL.
What he said about Buffalo is the right place. He said new owners, new coaches, loves the Pagulas, and he'd feel right at home in Buffalo. He said he always felt he'd get a second chance, and he stayed encouraged and motivated to play.
Jarvis Landry signaling fair catch, 44-yard punt from Colton Schmidt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cialis and by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
A home opener has been a dud for the Dolphins till this point. And Salmon, as you just said, never a good sign when your quarterback is dirtier than your offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on the ground more than they have. That's never good because you don't want your quarterback on the ground. But I think it shows that the offensive line did not do a good job today of protecting their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill today, 21-39 for 214, but 3 interceptions. Really hurt his offense. That pass for Matthews is incomplete. And when you can't protect and run block, Salmi, you just don't have much of a chance in the NFL, do you?
No doubt about it. I mean, you need the run game to help protect the quarterback. But look, he gets hit again. Now, that one ever so slightly. Charles kind of bumped into him from behind. But, Tannehill's had a rough day. 3 interceptions in the first half. You can see real struggling to get the ball deep. He's missed his last 6 intended receivers.
2nd and 8. Tannehill from the gun. Good protection on that play. Another shot off the sideline. And that pass falls incomplete as Darby and Bakari Rambo collide. Darby had to leave after a helmet-to-helmet hit earlier in the half. And now he's hurt once again. Darby starting a 3rd consecutive week with Leotis McKelvin still rehabbing back from the fractured ankle as they continue to look at Darby.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Bring home the flavor only at Pizza Hut. And by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.
Second time that Ronald Darby and Bakari Rambo have collided today. Both times it's been Darby that's gotten the brunt of it.
Now, I
Rambo
know
just kind of out of control.
Yeah, I know Darby's a rookie. And, rookies got to take it a little bit. But when you get in the film room on Monday, you got to lean over to Bakari Rambo and say, hey, man, I am on your team. You got to hit the other guys in the other colored jersey.
You saw Tannehill with the 7 straight incompletions. Penalty markers come in from every direction.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's Jameel Douglas. As both of these Dolphins guards, Salmon, continue to struggle. Douglas, the rookie, and 4th-round pick out of Arizona State.
The tackles have struggled. Their best player clearly on the offensive line for the Dolphins is Mike Pouncey in his 5th year from Florida. I think the other areas they have to improve. With Brandon Albert out, this offensive line has really struggled today.
Albert out today with that hamstring injury that he sustained last week. Looks like Buffalo is going to take a timeout. So 8:35 remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Bills comfortably in front, 34-8.
Got it.
Well, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS begins with the Jets and these Dolphins in London. Then regional action elsewhere. The Chiefs will take on the Bengals. We will be in Cincinnati. Elsewhere, the Browns and the Chargers. It all begins with the team that'll take you all the way to Super Bowl 50. JB, Boomer, Coach, Bart, and Tony on the NFL Today, beginning at a special time, 9 a.m. Eastern, bright and early, next Sunday on CBS.
That was a dream of the late Commissioner Pete Rozelle, was to have football early in the morning going till late at night. 9:30 a.m. and then by the time we're done playing that Sunday night game, that's a full day of NFL football.
We saw Darby back on the field, so a good sign for Buffalo. 3rd and 15 from just outside the 45. Tannehill's pass over the middle. This is Miller. Run out of bounds by Darby at around the 46. This is about as quiet that you'll ever hear in NFL Stadium. And just a long, long day, Salmon, for a fan base that has been so loyal here and expected a whole lot more from this team in the first 3 weeks.
And they're doing great renovations to this stadium where most of the fan base can be in the shade for the entirety of the game, but they need a good product to put on the field to make sure that fans here in South Florida keep coming each week.
Dolphins 0 of 2 on 4th down today. This is 4th and 8. Bills coming to the blitz. Darius up the cut, giving chase. Tannehill on the run. Going to throw it towards the end zone, and it is caught. It's Matthews. Rolls into the end zone for the touchdown. 46 yards. Not exactly how they drew it up for Tannehill, but Matthews with his second touchdown.
Well, there he is at the bottom of the screen. He's going to go here. He's working, and then he comes here, and then he goes deep. He's doing what we call the scramble drill. As Tannehill is scrambling, you got to work vertically. Watch him come in, then back. Now, that's Stephon Gilmore in coverage. But then he stops, and watch him come back to the underthrown ball and catch it and roll in for a touchdown. That's 6 points the hard way.
So Matthews follows up his 115-yard performance last week with a $113 today on 6 catches and 2 touchdowns. Point after from the rookie Andrew Franks is no good.
Maybe I shouldn't have said 6 points the hard way. I should have said 7, and he would have made it. But, you know, Tannehill was under pressure on that throw. Watch him buy time. Marcel Darius, he's hunting quarterbacks right now. Big boy keeps coming. Tannehill throws it and pays for it as he gets shoved out of bounds by Mario Williams. Good thing Matthews came back for it, caught it before it hit the turf, rose in for a touchdown. Best play of the day for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, a day that has seen Tannehill throw 3 interceptions, one of them off a deflection. It really wasn't his fault on the first one.
But we said he was tough. I mean, this kid, I've seen him fight and battle. You know, he's a former wide receiver at Texas A&M, where he played his first 2 years at the wide receiver position and was a good wide receiver. He just wasn't a guy taking up space. And then they needed him to play quarterback, began to do that, played a couple of years at the position, and then became the first quarterback taken in the first round by the Dolphins since Dan Marino.
Tannehill, the native of Lubbock, Texas, grew up in Big Spring. Shaky start to his career when he came in 2012, but has really turned the corner. They give him that big contract extension in the offseason. But he and the Dolphins staring down the barrel of a 1-2 start.
I tell you,
here in week 3.
Percy Harvin, he's fearless, isn't he? He's just fearless. Watch this onside kick. He just doesn't care for his body. He cares more about the ball. This is just a fearless play by him. Look at that, right in the teeth of everyone. He comes down with it.
That was Matt Darr, the punter, on the onside attempt. Little trickery from Dolphins special team coach Darren Rizzi. But unfortunately for them, doesn't pay off. And now E.J. Manuel, who became Buffalo's number 2 quarterback, will see his first action of the season. 1st and 10. This is Carlos Williams. Matt Castle traded early this week with a 7th-round pick to Dallas. And so now Manuel, in a move that surprised some people in Buffalo, their backup quarterback behind Taylor.
He went to school here in the state of Florida, went to Florida State. But, you know, he's from Virginia. And so is Tyrod Taylor. And, you know, I got to imagine both of those guys are friends. Percy Harvin being from the Virginia area as well. And so Bills have done pretty good bringing in players from that state, having once drafted a player, Hall of Fame player, by the name of Bruce Smith also. And so I think they're putting together a real good collection of talented players in Buffalo. And E.J. Manuel still has an opportunity to be a good player in this league. And I think learning from this offensive coordinator and Greg Roman's offense, he could be needed at some point in time. He's just got to continue to grow and continue to develop.
Dolphins still have all 3 timeouts. It's Williams getting downhill. The rookie stumbles into the end zone. His 3rd rushing touchdown in as many games in the NFL. 41 yards for Buffalo.
I got to tell you, Shady McCoy, you got yourself a competition from this Carlos Williams, because if he gets the ball, he is looking to find the end zone. He's done it now for 3 consecutive games to start his career, behind Richie Incognito. Then he cuts it back on Rashad Jones, the safety, and torches the secondary en route to the end zone. Great block by Incognito. And then he does the rest with great speed and very elusive for a big man at 6'1", 230.
I got one question for you. How did Williams fall to the 5th round? What a talent this kid is. 12 rushes, 110 yards, and his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Let's give Doug Whaley and his staff, the general manager with the Buffalo Bills, credit for that. Because there were, I thought, a lot of really good running backs. T.J. Yeldon in Jacksonville. We know about Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon and Joe Philbin saying, wow, we pay all that money on the defensive line and we can't stop the run here in Miami.
Simon, you bring up a great point about the job that Doug Whaley, Buffalo's general manager, has done. You look at their top 3 draft picks, they're all making significant contributions. Obviously, you just saw Williams, Ronald Darby, 3 straight starts. He's played awfully well. A couple of interceptions, including one today. And their guard, John Miller, had played every snap until he left this game with a calf injury.
Yeah, but he's a good player, and I don't know that he's talked about enough. We know Ron Darby, 2nd-round pick, he's come out playing well, but Carlos Williams, you know, every time he touches the ball, we're kind of seeing moments like that. I think on his very first touch, that first game against the Colts, he found the end zone on that very similar in-between the tackle run play.
41-14, all Buffalo. And what is for them their 2nd straight divisional game. This is Damian Williams nearly upended as he crossed the 10. Duke Williams on the hard hit. Carlos Williams, his confidence continues to grow with each passing week.
He had an illness during preseason. Don't know quite what it was, but it kept him from working in practice, kept him out of most of the preseason. I don't know that they knew what they had. I think a lot of the fans in Western New York was kind of waiting for him to get an opportunity. But then he got to play in that Week 1 game against the Colts, and boy, did he raise some eyebrows there, and he's continued to impress.
Tannehill on 1st and 10. Miller run out of bounds by Nigel Bradham. You know, Solly, the question on Buffalo was, with this defense as dominant as it is, Rex Ryan coming in, the fan base revitalized as you see their schedule, could this offense carry its weight? The way that they've played, you know, maybe we need to rethink what the ceiling is for this Bills team.
Right now, this offense under Greg Roman, they're averaging over 30 points a game in their first 3 games. They're putting points on the board. They can run it, as you have seen, and then they can throw it. Tyrod Taylor, he's not a liability for this football team. In fact, I think he's turned out to be a great asset.
Miller on a little short screen pass, 1st down catch and run, crosses the 30, and brought down at the 30-yard line. You know, Buffalo fans were so disappointed with the way that game against New England started last week, but they figured it out. You know, the way that they played, 19 straight points in the 4th quarter, that's carried in here. Now, Tyrod Taylor, 2-1. He's going to get his first win as a road starting quarterback.
You think about the talent, you know, at the skill position. Harvin Watkins, as you see there, Robert Woods, Chris Hogan is a young kid that can play. In my mind, I think the offensive line's got to get a little bit better, but I think they're going to continue to gel and improve as the season goes on.
That was Jonas Gray, signed to the active roster this week. You saw Sammy Watkins on the Buffalo sideline left left the game with a calf injury. Bills do not think it is overly serious, but with this game well at hand at that point, no reason to risk further injury to one of their stud wide receivers.
Well, Tyrod Taylor, I tell you what, he's a student of the game, continues to work. 21 of 29 today. 3 touchdowns, very impressive.
Here's Jonas Gray trying to kickstart a Miami running attack that has been lethargic over the first 2+ weeks.
You know, Warren Buffett was on the sideline before the start of the game.
Yes, he was.
I thought he might give this team good omen. You know, everywhere he tends to go, things tend to work out financially, right? Great investment. There's Warren Buffett.
This was a jarring sight.
Yeah, wearing Ndamukong Suh's jersey. You know, his company, Berkshire Hathaway, is based out of Omaha, Nebraska. And then Ndamukong Suh went to school nearby in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Penalty markers whistle the play dead. Looks like a false start.
Offense, number 86, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You think that Ndamukong asked him for some financial advice? He's got a couple extra zeros in his bank account after signing that extension.
$114 million, and there's, again, Warren Buffett. There's Ndamukong Suh. You have to consult, right? I think if you can talk to Warren Buffett after signing that kind of deal, that would be the right thing to do.
Tannehill after the penalty, 1st and 15. I haven't called Greg Jennings' name much today. Had a couple of early drops. That one is a 9-yard pass play. First catch for Jennings today.
I wonder if Warren Buffett is still around. You know, give some advice after the game.
I think he may have cut out of here.
Think he's flying commercial home? No.
No.
Okay. No. Smart man you are.
Under 4 minutes to play. 41-14 lead for the Buffalo Bills. It's Damian Williams. Salman, what about Miami? 1-2. We mentioned they head to London. They'll fly out late Thursday. And a game, again, in the division next Sunday against the Jets team, and a game that they feel like they will have to have as they try to get their season righted.
They got to score points. Offensively, they're not explosive enough. They're not consistent enough. I think it starts with their inability to run the football, and I think most of the problems start up front with the offensive line. They can't protect the quarterback enough for him to be consistent, getting the ball to what I think is a talented group of receivers.
This is 3rd and 2, first down run for Williams. Dances close to the 30. Corey Graham on the tackle. So they'll go to London next week, take on the Jets, then a bye, then at Tennessee. So again, after today, we'll not play a home game until October the 25th against Houston, and we'll be here for that game.
You and I will be back. That's right, for that Texans game. You think they'll welcome us as well as they did on Friday? They gave us lunch. They treated us well. And, but I want to see this team improve. I think they have the potential to be a good football team. In fact, we thought all the defenses within the AFC East would be tough to deal with.
Here's Jonas Gray inside the 20. Now, Joe Philbin will tell you as much as anyone else, a 4-year window is about as much as a head coach can ask for, trying to get a team into the postseason. Something that he has failed to do here over his first 3 years. All the money that they spent in free agency. You talked about the contract signed by Ndamukong Suh, and that puts a little bit more pressure on Philbin's shoulders. And now the injured Dolphin is Mike Pouncey. Boy, this would be about the last thing that they want at this point of the game. They already were without Brandon Albert with the hamstring strain.
He's a tough player, rugged. One of the good ones at his position.
So Pouncey will walk off, and Sam Brenner, whom they signed off the practice squad, will come in at center. Brenner is a second-year player out of Utah. I'm not sure that this game, Solomon, could have gone any worse for the Dolphins.
Yeah, they came in saying they wanted to get off to a fast start. They did anything but that for their head coach, Joe Philbin. The offense went 3 and out, and the defense allowed the Bills to go down the field on each of their first 2 possessions and score touchdowns right away.
Last play before the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10. Draw play. This is Gray. Dragged down at the 11 as we reach the 2-minute warning. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Tonight on CBS begins with the season premiere of 60 Minutes with Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, followed by the series finale of CSI, only CBS. Well, not the home opener that Dolphins fans were hoping for today, and their team down 41-14 as they are about to fall to 1-2. Jonas Gray in the backfield, flanking Tannehill. Darts inside the 10, close to the 6. Joe Philbin told us, Salmon, that he doesn't read the newspapers, rarely gets on the internet once the season starts, once he gets to training camp in August, and I'm not sure he's going to want to see those headlines tomorrow.
No, you won't want to hear it. You won't want to read about it. We asked Ndamukong Suh the same thing. What's your take on some of the negative things that have been printed? He says, I don't read it. He said, I don't read it. I don't listen to it. And, I think smart NFL players understand that they can't ride the wave of emotion of the things that are printed or said about them on television or in print.
1st and goal. Gray trying to cut back, loses his footing, and they'll spot it right around the 7-yard line, tackled by Darius.
However, Spiro, I do believe we're getting to the point of the season where now that level of accountability is going to be totally different. The Bills going to feel good about themselves leaving here today at 2-1, but the Dolphins are going to have to go back and ask themselves some very tough questions. Why are we not getting off the faster starts on offense and defense? What's going on, and how can we improve immediately?
Kenny Stills the man in motion with 34 seconds remaining. Tannehill on 2nd and goal, stumbles out of the pocket, throws end zone, and that is incomplete. Just wonder, Solomon, what you can do from a scheme standpoint. Do you blow something up if you're Joe Philbin, try something completely different?
Don't want to do that. I mean, you spend all offseason working on doing what you're doing. This is not a scheme thing. For me, it's about execution. I think any coach will tell you that. Football is always about blocking, tackling, throwing the ball, catching the ball, and making the play when it's presented to you. They are clearly not doing it, at least not doing it enough consistently.
Tannehill going fade pass, far corner of the end zone. It's caught but out of bounds. That's the rookie Devontae Parker, who's looked a lot more active today. Played just 1 snap in the opener a couple of weeks ago, coming back from the offseason surgery on his foot.
Well, Parker's going to be a good one each and every week. Look at Rex. He's still in it. He's coaching that defense, getting everyone going. He and Dennis Thurman standing to his left. Now on 4th down, let's see. He's wanting to get a stop here. He's still competing with 23 seconds left to go in this game.
4th and goal. Dolphins will go for it. Tannehill, same route as a moment ago. Back shoulder this time, and it is incomplete. Once again, trying to locate Parker. And for a 2nd straight play, the rookie who's been banged around today, Ronald Darby, able to hold his ground.
Like the rookie even had a chance to catch it, but Darby was contesting. Tannehill has continued to fight. He's going to have some better days in this league. They've got to get better protection for him up front with this offensive line and have to give the young quarterback a run game.
Well, look at Rex Ryan on that Buffalo sideline. Bills will head back home. They'll take on the Giants next Sunday and a chance to get their record to 3-1. What an impressive performance by Rex Ryan and the Buffalo Bills. They come to Miami and spoil this home opener party for Joe Philbin and the Dolphins. 41-14, our final. Tonight on CBS begins with the season premiere of 60 Minutes and Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, followed by the series finale of CSI, only CBS. Now for Solomon Wilcots, our entire crew, Spiro Dinas saying so long from Miami. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50.